All right, folks. It's 10:35 p.m. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good. Got through the reading.
Yeah. Welcome back. How's everything?
Everything's good. Apologies for my delay. Sorry.
No worries. All right. So I've managed to solve, I guess, a couple errors, but still not able to get through the Google Cloud bucket yet. And I keep having this file system error. It seems like it's basically the base path that I'm having trouble with, and I've been trying different base paths, and has not been able to find out. Yeah, but hey, at least I was able to find out how this works. So at least I was able to serve it locally. So that was good. And I added the tag at 2.4.0 because I'm using 2.4.1 TensorFlow version. And so for serving this locally, I don't know if you folks have tried this, but it's quite, this is quite long. And that's why I created bash script. It's better to run these things from a bash script at this point, because you want to be able to save this and just repetitively try things and test things. So bash script is way better rather than completely typing such long script on a command line. So so you need to have a mount type as bind and your source as your so your source needs to be, so the way how I structure this is under consumer complaint, the source is the pipeline root, and so that's the source, and then you have to target to this level. So and so I figured that this is actually the model name. So make sure you know this is model name rather than this. So you never kind of refer to a model as its version, but the model name is always this, one parent directory on top of that. And the source directory is one level on top of the model name. So model base path is basically all the way to your model name without another slash. And your model name is just that. Then you have your tag, which is your image version. Then you should be able to run this. Try this to see if it's working. If anyone has tried, let me know.
Yeah, I was able to get it running locally following the same pattern you had there.
Great. Yeah, it took me a couple tries to find out like which one exactly is the model name and all that stuff. So, and you need to have the mount type. Anyway, I was following the book's commands, but unfortunately, the book did not give out real examples. That's why I had to figure out what exactly my model refers to, and models refers to. So, all right. So, and then we came. I came back to this, right? So, I have this model base path as GS, and I was able to solve the credential error. So I think I solved it. I'm not 100% sure, but at least the error went away. I think that's So I created another, basically what happened is I had to create another service account that has the access to all cloud storage resources. And the way how you do it is by just create service accounts. You know, you can just say cloud storage service 2, create continue. And when you select row, just say cloud storage admin. No, storage admin. There you go. So Google has, you know, these are things that are just, you know, they should have followed the same naming convention. If it's cloud storage, should have just said cloud storage, but it says storage admin. So it took me a couple tries to find out how can I get GCS resources control. So make sure you add that storage admin. And obviously, if you want to add, you know, ML engine developer, you can, which I added. Then click done, and just, and then what you need to do is make sure you replace the current key that you're using. So you want to basically just go to keys and just basically download the key you have. I already downloaded. That's why it says it's active, and it was recreated today. So, so I was able to solve that, but it just seems like, you know, this error it's just been sticking with me all along. Could not find base path. I mean, I was trying GCP, but I tried GS as well, same stuff. And I was trying another slash, but obviously double slash wasn't correct. And this was the credential error. So Google authentication bearer token failed. It did not say anything about like access or anything like that. It just said invalid grant, invalid GWT signature, failed, retrieving token from GCE failed. Yeah, so I was like, why don't I just try getting an access service account with all access to GCS resources? And it seems like the error went away, but now it's just this error that kept popping out. So, all right. Anyone else had more luck with this? No, I figure that's probably, yeah, this is, for some reasons, this has just not been very easy, and I was not able to find too much documentation or Stack Overflow, or yeah, nothing really came out that was exactly this. I mean, there was something similar, but not exactly this. So let me try this again. Just with this. Okay. So the way how you execute bash script is just bash and GCS model access.sh. That's how I name the bash script file. And it will just execute the Docker command for us. Same thing. Okay. Could not find base path. This consumer complaints, model storage 0602. for servable consumer complaint pipeline. So that is the error currently.
The error is a file system error. So would it be access to storage? So go back, if you would go back to your IM and admin window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally just follow this
Okay.
GS consumer complaint model storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, this actually did not come out last time. Last time was a dictionary message for some reason. Now this is somewhat different. Very strange. So let me try, let me just do this again. Maybe take out the space. Base path. You would think this would be easier, but it really Invalid reference format. Repository name must be lowercase. Oh, did I miss? Does it have to have a space here? It does. Okay, same thing. All right, so let's try one more time with this. GS. Let's save it. Yes. Nope. It just can't find the base path. It's so mind-boggling. All right. So why don't we switch direction and let's get to AWS S3 bucket. Maybe we'll get some luck from there. I have a feeling that would be easier. Okay, so we stop everything and just remove the containers. Okay, 79426F DAD A47 779B3 986. So you so you can just type in like 3 letters and they will just be removed. You don't have to copy paste the whole paths, the whole ID. All right, so why don't we try AWS now? AWS. X8 GSMM. All right. S3 buckets. We have the following configurations. So I'm just following the book right now. And let's create the bucket. If you haven't ever created S3 buckets, have you all had experience with S3? Do you need me to explain a little bit what S3 is? Or all of you have had a bit experience with S3?
I think so. You can give a quick overview and then create the bucket and try to link the model from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So S3 is just like Google Cloud Storage. Those are code. This is considered like quote unquote code storage. Okay. And as you can see, I've had a bunch of code storage files, folders that I was testing some of the stuff. And basically, this is not completely code storage, but it's code storage. And there's something that's called Glacier, S3 Glacier, archive storage in the cloud. So that is like, as you can tell from the name, it's even for it's extremely low cost. So S3 is already low cost, but S3 Glacier, am I pronouncing this correctly? Mesh Glacier?
Yep, it's fine.
Okay, Glacier, that's extremely low cost storage, okay? And we're talking about very, very low IO probably. It's not for IO at all, most likely. And it's just for our archiving. But S3 is a tier above that. We're talking about some IO, you can still read files and do certain operations. I have not tried S3 Glacier yet, but I've built pipelines that include S3 buckets, both for cron job and streaming, data streaming pipelines. So S3 is not like S3 is not like a SQL database. So it's not meant for constant input, output, reading operations. And obviously it does not have SQL operations. However, that being said, you have something called AWS Athena. Athena is just as the description says, query data in S3 using SQL. So you do have an additional tier of service that's called Amazon Athena that would be able to kind of analyze, your data and petabytes of data in S3 with no data warehouses or clusters to manage. Now, you still need to create a table and schemas, but if you have tons of files in CSV files in S3 buckets, and you can create a schema, and then you can just query that data from Athena, and Athena will give you a SQL interface, and you can just start writing select XYZ from ABC table in S3. So that is something very cool. And S3 is something that integrates with many other data services, such as AWS Kinesis. So that is something that I've been playing around with, and it's called it basically is a a commercial version of Kafka. Okay, it allows you to stream data, deliver data in a streaming fashion, and also adding some analytics functions on within the pipeline. So while you deliver the streams, so and that allows you to basically so Kinesis gives you options to direct all your data into S3 buckets, not only as a destination but also as a backup place as well. So S3 is almost, I would say, out of all the AWS services, S3 is probably top 3 most used services within the AWS ecosystem. And I think I saw a rank somewhere. S3 is definitely one of the top 3. So, okay.
What do you know S3 stands for?
Standard storage or something like that. I forgot.
Simple storage.
Simple storage. Right? Simple storage. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's I thought it would be a cooler name, but it's not. Okay. So create buckets, and you can type in bucket name, and the bucket name, I believe this has to be globally unique as well. So let's create a bucket name, and I'm doing this just now. So I saw a chat. Yeah, simple storage service. Great. So let's call it just consumer complaint model bucket, or just model storage like that. Now, the region is something that you would need to pick, and just like GCP, right? You would want to pick a region that you are located in. So I'm on the East Coast, but anything in US is probably fine as well. I wouldn't pick anything from, let's say, Asia or Europe. Again, that would mean that S3 buckets is sitting on some machine that's located in Asia. And now that creates, further latency, which you don't want to do.
If I may, on the corporate side, this is a decision point. You need to know what your costs are across the different regions, and know that there is a trade-off between picking lower price in cheaper regions versus latency, how far it is from you. Yes. So if you're accessing petabytes of data over and over, that trade-off matters. Cost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, and you can sometimes you would see like someone completely granting public access to S3 bucket. Someone's hosting something, and you can access their S3 bucket. It could be a bunch of data for public access. And I think Mash and I were getting the Mimic data sets, and that was on the S3 bucket, but I don't think that was publicly accessible.
We had to go through, we had credentials and that were added that we had to use in order to get it.
Yeah.
Through multiple layers.
Yeah. So typically you want to block all public access. Now we do have to add permissions. I suspect that would be the case in this scenario as well. I don't know yet. I've not tried it on S3 yet in terms of model serving. Bucket versioning. I guess I have tried it, but not from a Docker run TensorFlow level. I've tried it from a SageMaker and API gateway, AWS API gateway. Okay, bucket versioning, you can version your buckets, right? and you can restore every version. Typically just go with disable tags, track storage cost, no tags associated with. I typically don't add any tags. I just go with the default encryption. Sometimes you could go with AWS key management service key. You see that a lot with a lot of resources, and you have Amazon S3 key, and I just go with the default encryption. Okay, object lock, advanced settings. Again, no need to go too complicated on some of these settings. So most likely, I just basically have a name, pick the right region, and that's it. Everything else is pretty much default, and you can just create bucket. Okay, now you have a bucket that that basically sits here. It's called consumer complaint model storage, and just so you folks are aware, S3 is already dirt cheap. Okay, I don't think I had gigabytes of data stored here already, but I think my billing is very minimal.
Talking maybe like a nickel or a dime or so.
Yeah, like 8 cents. So gigabytes is already 8 cents. I believe I have gigabytes of data, but very cheap. And so I would imagine S3 Glacier is even cheaper. Okay, so this is literally a place for storing, petabytes of data. You could almost treat this as a data lake before you pre-processing everything, just like literally storing them here. So before the next step of your ETL pipeline.
Well, a data lake on Microsoft Azure is roughly equivalent to S3. It's just it's approximate. I think.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you get into this, and you can start uploading files. Now, obviously, you can do this programmatically, and in an ETL pipeline, I do this programmatically. And the way how you can access S3 resources, and the reason why I like AWS services more is it has a way easier. It seems like it has a way easier API access called Boto3. Okay, so I want to tell you folks about this as well, because this is really handy, and it's really well documented. It's just so much easier to use than like GCP. Okay, and literally every single service is in this Boto3. Okay, and it's just a library. It's literally just a library that you can call. Okay, and you see data pipeline, DAX, Direct Connect, DLN, DynamoDB, EC2, ECR, ECS, EKS, IAM, IoT. You can literally control every single AWS resource within a Boto3. Okay, so this, by uploading or deleting, creating folder on this console interface, is not scalable, and this is something that I kind of picked up gradually. As soon as I started using AWS resources more, it's just you want to try to access these resources programmatically if you see fit. If this is just a small thing and you just want to upload something, then obviously logging into this, get this done is easier. But okay, S3, and as you can see, client, buckets, object, examples, and I basically just use clients, and and create bucket, delete object, and you can list files, I believe. There's list operations, list objects. So objects are basically things stored in the bucket, and you can get object, you can put buckets, you can upload files, and you can download files from S3 buckets programmatically. So this is something you want to basically, if you're developing pipelines or developing projects using AWS resources, this documentation is really, really handy. And again, it's literally as simple as boto3.client S3. And other services are just like boto3.client Kinesis, or I don't know, like something else. And you can just pass in within a client, you can just pass in the credentials, which we'll do with Docker run. All right, so what we want to do is upload. Right now, we're just basically uploading this, I believe. We're just uploading this. So, I need to add a folder first. 1 second. Please. Create folder. Consumer, let me see. Consumer complaint pipeline. I just want to make sure I match this exactly. And I just create a folder. Okay, so now under consumer, this is the bucket name, this is the folder name, and underneath the folder, let's upload these files. Let's see if I need to create further folders, because I know underneath this we have assets, variables. So let me see if we want to have other folders. Did the book say you need to create a folder for these assets and variables at all? Did someone remember? Okay.
Yeah, stepped away for a sec. What was the question?
The question is, do we need to create further folders for these assets and variables?
Oh, I don't think so.
Pretty weak on the AWS explanation.
Yeah. Have you tried it, David? Was that David?
Yeah. So I got it to work. Yeah, I guess I do have those folders. I think maybe I uploaded the folder.
Saved models, that's the name of the folder that you're looking for.
Yeah, so I put in the Slack kind of.
Great.
Yeah, my base setup. Yeah, so within consumer complaint pipeline, yeah, then I have the save model, and then I have the assets and
Great.
the other. Yeah.
Consumer complaints, the consent, and your what did you have here under here?
Under
It was just a bunch of files or folders as well?
let's see. So under the number, then I have assets folder, save model.pb, and then variables.
So you did create a bunch of folders, basically.
I did. I think I probably uploaded, how do you say it? That whole group of stuff as a folder.
You uploaded entire folder instead of file.
Yeah.
That folder. Okay, got it. Cool. So let me do that. I'm glad you got this to run. Were you able to get GCP running?
No luck with that yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, because I got to update the credentials and yeah.
Great, awesome. So thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Did you have one level underneath this, or you just had it pretty much?
Yeah, so just so one level underneath. So I have underneath the number directory.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just delete this and upload the entire folder. I should have done that. Okay. Close. Upload. Add folder. So pipeline root. Let's upload this entire folder. Can choose add files. It only allows me to do like 9 files and folders. Does that allow me to upload the entire folders? Let me see. I don't think so.
Oh.
Oh, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. It says here, I don't know. I would have to see. Let me just see that really quick. AWS. Send it to the console. Let's get S3. So you were able to get this running. Did you have to add permissions or stuff?
Let's see. Yeah, I guess I already had sort of a, yeah, I guess it's a root user that I was using that I had the credentials for.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. So this is, yeah, again, this takes a little bit of time because S3, the IO on S3 is a bit slow, and this is 1 gigabytes. So, all right. So let's take a look at, okay, so I do have the folder. Great. I didn't realize I had that. Awesome. So let me delete this TS store. Delete. So you can type in permanently delete, delete project objects. Objects failed to delete. And it was deleted. Great. So this is successful. Great. Upload successfully. Now this is the ARN resources name. And when you deploy resources programmatically, a lot of times you would need this. And this is the your I guess my S3 buckets. This particular S3 bucket's ARN. Okay, and permissions. So this is where you can edit your permissions, and you want to, let's say, open up to the public or have different bucket policies, which you can, sometimes you want to allow other services to be able to write to S3 buckets. Then you want to have IAM rows. And that's just like basically service count, right? And on GCP. So it's something, but it takes a little bit of time to figure out, but AWS, again, has way more tutorials, and there's way more tutorials online, and documentation is just a little better. Okay. Okay, so let's try this since we've already uploaded. And let's create another bash script. Touch and code S3 model access.sh. All right, so maybe we can just copy paste this. Docker run. So let's try to see what we can get from this S3. Where's the path for this bucket? Anyway, I think it's just S3 this, right? I guess. So I can just have this, have the name, model name as the objects. I have it here. Consumer complaint pipeline, I have it here. And for the credentials, AWS access key as an environmental variable. Okay. The AWS access key ID. Use secret access key.
Yep. You might want to not show the access key here. The
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah, I know. So let me stop sharing.
Yep.
And so excuse me for a second. Oh, you have to add a region as well, right, David?
Yeah.
Okay. Add a region. Okay, so I had it at US East 2. And let me find my access key. 1 second, folks. So okay, I'm taking a little time to find my access key. supposed to be stored in my Dropbox. And why don't we do this? As I'm trying to find this, David, would you mind showing us the results by running that command for S3 buckets?
Well, let's see. I have it on a second computer, so I can just kind of copy that over. So.
Sure. All right, I did find my access key. D. Secret key. Sorry, did you share something, David?
No, not yet. Yeah, I'm copying it over to my laptop.
Okay. All right, so I should have this. All right, so let me try this. I just inputted my access key. Bash S3 invalid reference repository name must be, okay, so maybe I had a typo. Yes. All right, it seems like it's reading saved model from S3.
Mm-hmm.
And so, all right, it's working on my end as well.
Awesome.
So, yes, so I was able to run this bash S3 model access.sh, reading saved model from S3 consumer complaints, model storage, consumer complaint pipeline, and this is the version name, and it's being optimized for using the following CPU instructions and CPU frequency. So basically now we're serving the model from a remote location, but on my local machine. Okay, but it doesn't have to be on my local machine. It could be a EC2 machine, right? A server, but that model is stored in S3. Okay, so we don't have to, this is remote storage of your model, but serving on your current machine where you run this bash script, if that's clear. Okay, so Mayank was saying, for folks using VS Code, we can configure via VS Code extension AWS toolkit. Cool, thank you, Mayank. So this is working. I'm really happy we got at least one option working, and we're right on time. So it's fantastic. And any questions on this? And I think David was very kind enough to share the commands already. I would follow his commands, as I tried the same thing and worked. So, and you can just upload the entire folder. Okay, so you can upload this. Oops. that is not the folder. This is the folder. You can upload this entire consumer complaint pipeline folder, and underneath that, that's the version of the model. So you can upload that directly to S3, as David was saying here. Okay.
Yep. Can you push it in the Git repo? This complete folder?
Yeah, I can certainly push. Oh, this one, this complete folder.
Yep.
Okay.
The consumer complete.
This might not actually. This might not be possible because it's 1 gigabyte.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think GitHub can store 1 gigabyte.
But I guess you could make the S3 bucket public. Is one thing.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So I will try to make this S3 bucket public and share that access with everyone. And then you can download this model and push to your S3 bucket.
I have a question about the Docker image. We didn't create that Docker image, did we? That's just a default Docker image.
Correct. So we didn't customize, we didn't build our own Docker image. We are just pulling. So remember I can't pull this. 1 second, let me stop sharing. So let me pull the other one. This is a key concept to understand this Docker commands. So this is where we specify which Docker image we want to pull from the Docker Hub. Docker Hub, if you recall the concept of Docker Hub, that's where everyone stores tons of images, and for each TensorFlow serving, there are different tags, and tags are just versions. Okay, so the reason why I'm using 2.4.0 is because I'm using TensorFlow 2.4.1. I don't know if there is tag for 2.4.1, but typically you want to match that, right? If you're using Python 3.8, then you want to pull it 3.8 image for Python. This and again, this is where we pull it from. So TensorFlow serving hub.docker.com /r/TensorFlow serving, and there are 10 million plus polls. And if you don't specify any tags, it will just pull from the latest. And you can see the latest was just pushed 18 hours ago by TensorFlow packages. And it's on Linux, and it's about 2.52 gigabytes, okay? And you can see this GPU development tag, that's like almost 8 gigabytes, okay? So that would render my 128 gigabytes pathetic machine useless, pretty much. So when you deal with Docker images, you want to have a computer or a laptop with bigger size of storage, or do it on the server, something like that. So and nightly, I forgot what nightly stands for, but another, that's basically another version, and you have 2.5.1. and you have the latest, you have 2.511. So different versions of TensorFlow serving, okay? And I pulled from 2.4.0, let's see. Yes, I pulled exactly from this one. So let's see what it actually has. Can I see that? Is that okay? So this might be the command for this particular layer, for this particular version or tag. This might be it. I'm not 100% sure. This might be it. But if you look into like Python, that is a bit clearer in terms of how they built this So let's say I have 3.8.4, so you could pull a 3.8 Slim Buster, and it will directly go right into the GitHub underneath Docker library, and you will see the Docker file. So that tag just is basically a Docker file. You know, an image is something that someone else builds from a Docker file. Okay, and from Debian Buster, so this is built on top of another image. You have the env variable, environmental variable, and you have a bunch of commands. So in Dockerfile, you run commands with run, and then you specify the terminal commands, and those are Linux commands, because you know, I don't think some of those will be available on Mac, but those are Linux commands as it's pulling from Debian. And cd commands, env run again, then eventually you have a Python 3. And that's what that Python 3 image is built upon, if that makes sense. All right, so any other questions? So I just need to debug this. You know, I think I'm gonna keep going for a little bit more tonight. You know, this is really bothering me, and this is not cool. And I want to try to solve this. So if I solve this, keep you guys posted, and hopefully tonight, if not in the next couple of days, for sure. All right. Anything else? I'm really glad that we're at least able to serve one model on one vendor. So that's very helpful.
AWS always seems to win for that reason.
Sorry, say it again. AWS seems to win. Yeah,
seems to
exactly.
win reason.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I've been using AWS and not GCP so much. AWS has so much great stuff. I just love it. And the more you do it, the better you get. And I'm sure there's a work around with GCP services as well. And you know, people, those are all big vendors, so there must be some solutions around. It's just you know, with anything tech-wise, you want a big community behind it. You want a more Stack Overflow posts. You want a better documentation, and you know, or like GitHub, right? Issues, responses, those things all add up, and perhaps that's why GCP is playing a catch-up. So. Okay, well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, David, particularly. Really appreciate your help and wonderful job. And thank you, Mash, as well. Have a good night, folks.
All right.
Yep. Thank you so much, Wanchang. Work.
All right.
All right. Good luck with GCP.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.